After King Saul and his son Jonathan died in battle, David became king over Israel. Though he had been hunted by Saul for years, David remembered his deep friendship with Jonathan, Saul's son. Jonathan had once saved David's life, and they had made a covenant, a promise of loyalty and kindness between their families forever. Years passed. One day, King David sat in his palace and asked his servants, "Is there anyone left in the house of Saul to whom I can show kindness for Jonathan's sake?" A servant named Ziba, who had worked for Saul, was brought to David. David asked him, "Is there still anyone of Saul's family I can show God's kindness to?" Ziba answered, "Yes, there is still a son of Jonathan. He is lame in both feet, his name was Mephibosheth. When he was just 5 years old, his nurse had dropped him while fleeing after hearing of Saul and Jonathan's deaths, and he had been crippled ever since. He now lived in a place called Lodabar, a quiet and distant land far from the royal palace. David sent for Mephibosheth, and the young man came fearfully to the king. Bowing low, he said, "I am your servant." David said to him kindly, "Do not be afraid, for I will surely show you kindness for the sake of your father Jonathan. I will restore to you all the land that belonged to your grandfather Saul, and you will always eat at my table." Mephibosheth was overwhelmed. "What is your servant, that you should notice a dead dog like me?" he asked humbly, surprised by such grace from the king. David then called Ziba and said, "I have given your master's grandson everything that belonged to Saul and his family. You and your sons are to farm the land for him and bring in the crops, so he may be provided for. But Mephibosheth will always eat at my table like one of the king's sons." And from that day forward, Mephibosheth lived in Jerusalem and dined at the king's table, treated not as an enemy of the throne, but as family, honored and cared for because of a promise made in love and loyalty. This story of David and Mephibosheth teaches us a powerful lesson about loyalty, mercy, and kindness. David chose to show compassion not based on status, ability, or gain, but out of love and faithfulness to a promise. Even though Mephibosheth was weak, forgotten, and from the family of a former enemy, David treated him with honor and dignity. The lesson is this: true kindness remembers relationships, keeps promises, and reaches out even to those who cannot repay it. Like David, we should look